What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Bryan Frizzell. Today we are taping in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District at the Lincoln Building, home of Cascade Media Group. Today's special guest, you may have seen him before. He is an anchor, KCTV 5, a station he joined in April of 2010. So this month marks your four-year anniversary. Rather, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What's up, Kansas City? He likes to talk to his Channel 5 viewers. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Jonathan Carter.
All right, well, it's good to be here.
Glad that you could join us. Let's start from the beginning. Where did you grow up?
I'm from Ohio. Grew up in a city called Sandusky. It's in between Cleveland and Toledo, right in the middle. And if anyone's ever heard of an amusement park called Cedar Point, that's where I'm from.
Cedar Point Amusement Park.
Same folks who own Worlds of Fun.
I recognize that name.
Yeah.
Worlds of Fun, Cedar Park connection. Mr. Carter, what schools did you attend?
Attended University of Alaska Anchorage and UMKC.
University of Anchorage. Let's back up a little bit. What high school did you go to? In
Sandusky High School.
Sandusky High School. Did you decide to join the armed forces when you were in high school, or?
Yeah, I did, because I wanted to do this, and they had, when I say this, I mean broadcast journalism, and the Army had it. And the difference, going forward from high school straight into the Army doing this is that, I was 19 years old doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I didn't wait 10, 15 years to do it. I was doing it right from the jump. Now, I was green, and I was, I thought I knew more than I knew. but I was doing it every day, and then it allowed you to get better sooner.
Right. Can you talk a little bit to us about growing up? What kind of television shows you watch? Was there perhaps a news story that you remember at the time during your childhood?
Well, I watched all the same shows that everybody did. And I was born in '66, so I was coming up in the 70s and 80s watching TV. So I did all the the Good Times, Jeffersons, everything that came on, What's Happening, all that stuff, and Love Boat, all those stupid little shows like that. And then in the '80s, you watched everything that Okay, there was nothing that I was watching that anybody else wasn't watching. The same old stuff. But now, as far as news, though, I used to watch this gentleman in Cleveland. His name was Bill Jaycox. He was a black anchor in Cleveland, Ohio, and I watched him every day. And he's the reason I'm sitting here right now.
Okay, so you reached out to him, and he.
I never did. I just watched him every day, and then he's the one that lit the spark in me, to want to do this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was your TV mentor.
That really was, and I actually worked in Cleveland, and I worked with folks who worked with him. And they used to tell me, they said, man, you need to tell him, you need to call him and tell him the story, because he's retired now, living in California. And they were like, you need to call him. I was like, no, I never did, because I wouldn't know what to say to him. I mean, he meant everything to me. He'll never know. I just kept it to myself, and to this day, I've never made that call.
Well, Mr. Carter, you talk eloquently about being in the armed forces, and you jumped right into doing what you wanted to do, your passion, which was report for the Armed Service Network, Armed Forces Radio and Television Service. What kinds of stories did you report?
They were stories with a military slant, and I don't mean a political slant. I mean they were just military-related stories, and the audience was first the military member and their families, and then after that anybody else who picked up the signal. So the stories were slanted towards the military audience.
And you were anchor, reporter,
reporter, photographer, everything.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Oh yeah. You do it all.
Sounds like a trial by fire.
Yeah.
How extensively did you travel when you were in the armed forces?
Oh wow. Let's see. Been all over Europe. Been all through Central America. Been to Haiti. Let's see, Russia, and 3 different countries in Africa.
You speak any other languages?
I spoke German for a little while, enough to shop. and not get screwed over in the process. That was about it.
I like that. I know in BJ school, Mr. Carter, your professors who have been in the business tell you to start in a small market, own your craft, make your mistakes. Mr. Carter, what were some of the mistakes that you made early on in your career? Would you care to share with us?
You know what? Listening to some of those guys. Right. Really was. I mean, because they're sitting in those classes and they're teaching theory. That's all they're doing.
Right.
The way I came up, I was doing this every day. I mean, from the time I was 19, this is what I was doing. So I didn't go that small market route. When I came out, I went straight to a mid market, and I've been rolling ever since. So I mean, while what they're saying is true, if you don't have anything backing you up at the time, the way I came up, through the military, and I had all those skills, that they're just teaching. I had all that stuff, by the time I was ready to move. So, I just bounced.
That sounds like an awesome experience. You just bounce. Enough said. We'll leave it at that. Mr. Carter, have you ever felt that you've ever had to work harder in the business because of your race?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I can't change the fact that I'm black, and I can't change the fact that some people are going to have preconceived notions just because I'm black. No matter if I'm better or smarter or anything, they're my counterpart. They're just those prejudices that people have, and there's nothing I can do about that. So absolutely. I mean, I know I have to go 2 steps to every one of their steps. That's just the way it is.
What are some of the general challenges that you successfully face as a journalist in the media business?
Just navigating the business. There are challenges at every turn. Just because you ascend to a certain level, there's still challenges. I mean, everything you do, and every day is a challenge. You're only as good as your last newscast or your last story that you did, your last report. And while that thing may not determine your employment right then and there, it's a collection of things. So when you put it all together, that's the challenge. And you just want to keep growing. So.
Mr. Carter, I heard you on Generation Rap, KPRS's teen talk show that comes on Saturdays, giving advice to the youngsters. What do you tell? What kind of advice do you give someone who is young, just starting out, and looks at you and says, "I want to do what Mr. Carter's doing"?
Do it. And that's what I tell them. Absolutely do it. I'm not the one that's going to tell you, oh, this might be too tough. I don't know. You may not have it. When we get through the door, and I'm talking about us, black folks, when we get through the door, it's incumbent upon us to leave that door open. Because some folks, I'll throw some of my colleagues under the bus. They get through the door and they close it. They're like, hey, I want to protect mine. No, you can't do that. So for me, if there's someone that I run across and they want to do this, I do everything I can to help them.
With the popularity of social media, Mr. Carter, how has that changed the landscape of how broadcast news is produced today?
Big time. Because now you can get news before we even go on the air to tell you. Back in the day, you had to wait for us to come on the air and give you the news. But now you can go online, you can go on your phone. Right. And get everything before we even come on the air. So what we have to do is give you not only that story, but give you some depth, with it. So, you understand it just a little more. But as far as just news in general, it's right in your hand 24/7 now. So it makes it harder.
Access versus in-depth coverage.
Absolutely.
What type of civic and community service projects are you involved in Kansas City?
Let's see. In Kansas City, I would say not as much, but in the communities that I was in before I came here in New Orleans and Cleveland, I'm still in touch with those, with a lot of those civic organizations there, and we still do things, online and over the phone, and helping out young people like yourself, and just making sure there's a next generation of us. Coming up through here. And now as far as Kansas City specifically, I'm part of the Kansas City Association of Black Journalists. And we do basically it's a summer camp of sorts for broadcast and print. And we'll take high school students and some college students, I believe, and we'll put them in a 2-week camp. One of the weeks rather is print. The other one is broadcast. We just show them everything that we do, and they do a newscast, and it's all encompassing. So if a young person out there has that spark, has that thing in them that they want to do this, it's a good way to get involved with people who are actually doing it every day.
And how can our youngsters get more information about that camp?
They can go to the just go online, type in Kansas City Association of Black Journalists, take it to the website, and all the information is right there. Just and I believe if the application isn't online yet, it soon will be. So yeah, Kansas City Association of Black Journalists, rather. Find the application, boom.
And where is the national convention going to be held at this summer?
You know what? I don't even know. And here's the thing. I've never gone to it because I'm always working.
Wow.
All these years, I've never gone to it.
Wow, I hear it's a pretty nice affair.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, some folks go there just for the party. Other folks go to network, which, I mean, come on, you know how we do.
You always have those.
Exactly.
First one on the dance floor.
Exactly.
But not at the meeting.
Right.
Mr. Carter, what are your thoughts on President Obama's initiative, My Brother's Keeper, that will focus on creating opportunities for young brothers of color?
I think it's fantastic because it has to start somewhere. I mean, now people want to say, well, we can't just look for the government to do everything. Well, some things we can. I mean, the government has to take the lead on some things, and when you get a push from President Obama, it takes on takes on more importance than if Joe Smith with this organization he just started, this little grassroots thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't have the same push. And with the federal government, you're talking about federal dollars. And that's the key. Everything takes money. So, if you get the federal money behind it and you get the push, from President Obama in addition to the money, it can only help.
All right, let's play a little game I like to call 20 questions.
Oh, okay.
Might not be quite 20. But you have the right to skip. So
Okay,
skip,
all right.
we'll to the next one. Scariest thing to ever happen to you on camera?
Let's see. Forgetting where I was while I was live. I totally had one of those brain farts that we have. I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot where I was, and I was trying to come up with it, and it just never came to me. So I just sent it back to the station, and then in addition to that, there were people behind me acting like fools and stuff. It was just it was early in my career. So let's next.
Moving on. Favorite place to travel?
Let's see. Favorite place. This is gonna sound corny. Oh my God. Just to see my mom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wherever. I mean, because she moves around a lot, because she likes to stay with the kids, and we're all spread all across country. So wherever she is, I just just go hang out with her.
Favorite NFL team?
Minnesota Vikings.
Johnny Manziel or RG3?
Woo! RG3 because he's done it. Manziel, the running around that he does in college is not going to play. I don't think it's going to play in a pro level because, I mean, look at it like this. The guys chasing him in college, they may be 6'5", 290 pounds, running a 5'1", 40, something like that.
Tall guys.
Yeah. In the NFL, that same guy, he may be 6'6", 315, and he's running a 4'7".
Yeah.
And they're going to kill him.
Favorite college basketball team?
Louisville Cardinals.
Favorite NBA team?
Don't have one.
Dr. J or Michael Jordan?
Dr. J for nostalgia. Michael Jordan because he's his airness.
Can't beat that. Person of interest or scandal?
Neither one.
Neither one?
I've never seen 1 second of either one of them.
Busy man, huh? Favorite food?
Let's see. Turkey.
Madonna or Britney Spears?
Neither one.
Honest man. Looney Tunes or Walt Disney?
Looney Tunes.
Favorite white boy anthem?
Let's see. Woo! There's a whole bunch of them.
I'm borrowing that one from Roland Martin.
Yeah, let's see. Favorite white boy anthem. What's one they like? They like oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, Glenn.
Staying Alive.
That's more of a disco thing. But no, white boy anthem. Woo. Oh,
Teen Spirit.
They like that one. But no, it's something else. Like, let's go to the next one, and then I'll come back to that. I'll try to remember.
Come back to that one.
Yeah.
Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
I watched both. Sesame Street. We'll go Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood kind of grows on you when you
that's a great show.
Jane Kennedy or Vanessa Williams?
Ooh. Whoo. Now we're talking 70s Jane Kennedy, right?
We're talking 70s Jane Kennedy. And 80s Vanessa Williams.
And then, I'm going to go with Jane.
Jane Kennedy or Kenya Moore?
Oh, Jane Kennedy.
Jane, okay, she wins. Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy?
Richard.
Dan Rather or Tom Brokaw?
Wow. Dan
Favorite video game?
Let's see. Madden.
Superman or Batman?
Superman.
Rose of Fun or Six Flags?
Neither one. Cedar Point.
Hometown. Got to represent the hometown. Favorite author?
Let's see. I loved what Alex Haley did with Malcolm X. And you know, and I read Roots too. But my favorite author. Okay, let's stay with Haley since I read more of his stuff.
All right. You read that recently or?
What, the Malcolm X autobiography? Oh, no. I read that long time ago. Yeah.
What are you currently reading?
Memoirs of a Boy Soldier. It was it's an autobiographical story of a young man. Well, he's a grown man now, but it was his growing up in Africa and how he was taken from his family, his village, and everything, and put in one of those kid armies. You know, they always have the names like they're doing something, the Democratic Liberation Front and stuff. They're all just killing each other.
man, what part of Africa is it set in?
Sierra Leone, I think. I'm trying to remember. But because I've been there. I've been to Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Senegal. So.
Hardest worker on the planet, Mr. Carter.
Not the hardest, but I do know who he is.
All right. Any final words for our What's Up Kansas City viewers?
I'm not going to sit here and say, watch Channel 5, watch Channel 5.
I'll say it. Watch Channel, what time are you on again?
9 o'clock.
DVC, 9 o'clock. No excuse.
Yeah.
You have to go to Sunday school, you have to go to choir practice, you still DVC and watch Mr. Carter.
Okay. Well, he's a nice guy. Glenn is cool. But no, as far as Kansas City is concerned, I love your city. I really do. I love the people. And it's like any city, though. I mean, it has its warts, but, the city's working on it. So just give it time, especially the school district. I mean, it's going to take time. I mean, it didn't fall apart overnight. It's not going to be fixed overnight. So it's going to happen. No, the people here are too great.
Definitely keep an eye out for Mr. Carter and subsequent stories that you may be working on here, springtime. I'm your host, Glenn Bryan Frizzell. This is What's Up Kansas City.
And I never remember that song, the White Boy Anthem. I couldn't remember it.
We'll communicate via email.
All right.
Got to get the anthem going for summertime here. Check out more video online at www.whatsupkansascity.net. And remember, the sky's the limit. Aim high. If you shoot for the moon and you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Until next time, take care. All right, Mr. Carter.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.